Live. Welcome everybody, Sci-Fighter here, and joined by Todd Knott. He's going to be playing in Star Wars Bounty of Vengeance, our new Edge of the Empire campaign, and it's just us. It's a nice small party of two, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to kind of code run this, so it's going to be interesting for us, as I don't think that's a readily done thing that you can just look up examples of how to do.
No, I know there's a couple of party of two things, but it's always just one GM and then somebody else. So I'm kind of looking forward to being able to alternate and control the story a little bit, GM a little bit, and pass it back off and just play.
I'm looking forward to play. I've could probably count on two hands the amount of sessions I've actually been a player.
I bet you can count on one hand.
It's possible. I forget how many we did with BJ, but.
Are you talking just Edge, or are you talking Saga as well?
Oh, I'm talking everything in general.
I think you probably do two hands. Yeah,
I think I could probably count on two fingers how many times I've run as a player in Edge. So, we're gonna go ahead and roll the Force die.
It's your fault for being a good GM.
I'm sorry. It's also my fault for enjoying it, actually, I guess.
I know, right?
But I like both rolls. It's good. Alright, we're going to roll that Force die. It's going to be two of them, as there are two PCs. I have one. And we're starting off on a good foot. Good note. 3 light side. Solid. Okay, so let's go ahead and introduce. I'll let you go first. We'll go ahead and get our characters out there.
All right. Excuse me. I am playing Morb Detro, a Zabrak smuggler gunslinger. I don't think we need to dive too deeply into his background. It can come out during the story, but he was a law enforcement officer on his home world, jailed the wrong people or the right people, I guess, depending on how you look at it, and ended up getting into some big trouble that way, and now he's running around trying to clear his name, hence the Bounty of Vengeance. His only distinguishing mark is that one of his horns on the right side broke off, won't grow back, so it's just kind of all jagged and broken.
Alright. Something I of not really of important note or anything, but I just noticed this earlier while I was getting like the screen finalized and everything. I just arbitrarily named it Bounty of Vengeance, and I didn't even think about our ship is a Hawk 290 called Velvet Vengeance.
That's
it
right.
Just worked out. It's like I planned it. I will
didn't have to tell anybody.
It seemed odd, and I figured if I don't share it while it's on my mind, I'll probably forget later. And it was mildly interesting to you, at least. I don't know about anybody else.
I didn't even pick that up. That's good.
So I am playing 4K, named from a maneuver in my much-loved X-Wing miniatures game.
What color is your droid?
He's white. He's white. He's white 4K. He's a reprogrammed Magna Guard droid from the Clone Wars police department. The one that Morb was a part of was using him for things like interrogations and gathering intel, things like that. Deducing things using more intellect-based skills. But in doing so, they kind of reprogrammed out of him his fighting skills. So he's not very good at any kind of fighting. So we'll see how that helps us out. Probably not much. I think my music's a little high. I'm going to run that down a little bit.
We will see. This will be interesting, for sure.
Hey, I look intimidating, and it's really the important part. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, it's just like real life, you know. I just look so intimidating. People just don't even want to mess with me from the get-go.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I know how that goes.
Yeah, sure. All right, so I don't have an opening crawl, really, but as far as getting the scene set, you've become a bounty hunter in your life of being on the run. And so your current contract is with an employer, Blast Tech, who is a manufacturer of blaster weapons and stuff like that. It's a very creative name that's actually canon and everything, so it's a legit thing. You're doing some item recovery for them. There was a data disk that got stolen with some stolen information. Somebody sliced in and downloaded some intel that they're presumably going to sell or something like that, or use to their advantage in some way, shape, or form. The current lead that you've got is Pom Mok. He's a Chatterfan slicer. You've located him to be on the planet Onderon, in the city of Izes. And as we start out, you've already kind of gathered some intel. We're kind of coming in mid-investigation here. So you know that he lives in the outer district of Izes. Izes and Onderon in general was a place of a lot of battles in the Clone Wars. It's where Saw Gerrera is from, I believe. So that's the kind of level of destruction that was happening and stuff like that. And the place where he is not rebuilt. They just kind of left it. It's still all kind of it's the lower, more impoverished area of the city. So it doesn't have any of the luxuries that you would find more closer to the heart of the city, where some of the upper level people are. The income levels are low in the area, making bribery or paying off people to give up information, things like that, makes that a little more doable. Pom's residence, you found out, is a boarding house, and he's on the top level. He's got the whole kind of floor. The other residents of the building are simple working civilians, so I mean it's not like this scum den. And Pom typically stays home, but he leaves during meal times to eat at a dive bar. It's a short walking distance away. So that's kind of what you've been able to figure out so far. So now that it's in your hands, would you like to investigate further? Would you like to try to apprehend?
So the contract is solely for recovering the data disk, and
you're not trying to necessarily recover the guy. They're not a criminal or a law enforcement organization or anything. They're just a company, and they want their information back.
Well,
they don't know what was taken per se. At least they didn't tell you.
Right. Well, if I know where he is and he's only leaves during meal times and stuff, I would probably just wait outside after kind of walking around the building, making note of how many exits there are, kind of getting the lay of the land of the streets and stuff to kind of, if this guy decides to run, kind of, figure out where I might end up having to chase him, with a couple block radius. I'd probably just sit outside and wait for him to leave and then break in and see if I can find the disc.
Okay, in case it's in his dwelling.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 4Ks. He's kind of the secondary PC, so you have the control over him for the most part. Is he going to be at your side? Are you going to have him hang out, wait for something, watch as a lookout, things like that?
How many exits are on this building?
There's windows that you can presume is going to each residence in the building.
Mm-hmm.
So if you count those as an exit, and then there's like probably more of the landlord's kind of exit. It's on the bottom floor. I mean, you haven't been inside, so you don't know where it really enters in, but it seems like more rundown, kind of like a back door kind of a thing. So it's not really nice. So you wouldn't want, if you were a landlord, you wouldn't want your people entering through there.
Right.
The main entryway is definitely, got the little overhang and stuff and little signage.
There's not like a back door exit. It looks like, aside from the landlord, it looks like there's really only one way in and out, unless you're jumping out a window.
There's like clotheslines and stuff hanging across. There's what used to be a fire escape, but it doesn't. It only goes like halfway down the building. It either got destroyed during the battles and never repaired, or it just got so old and worn down that it fell apart.
Okay, all right. Well, I turn and look at K4, and I'm like, all right, 4. Say, watch the door. Let me know if the target comes in afterwards, or comes in after me. I'm going in. I'm going to search the place.
All right. Yes, sir. I will stay out here. So you go towards the door. It's kind of open into like a lobby kind of area where there's like some slots for mail and things like that. There's a stairwell leading up. There is an elevator. Doesn't look super serviceable. But then again, in the area that you're in, you don't really expect it to.
Oh, I would continue up to the apartment.
I'm taking the stairs, the elevator.
Yeah. I'm not in a big hurry.
Okay. So you walk up the stairs and you walk up all the flights and you pass by a couple kids playing on the second floor, just in the hallway. Got little cars and stuff, and there's nothing really on the second floor or the third floor as you continue on, and then up on the fourth floor where Palm Mac's residence would be. It's just a locked door. There's no signage or anything, no nameplate, no welcome mat. Just a door.
Okay. Well, I go and see if he happened to forget to lock his apartment.
It's locked. That's why I mentioned.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, all right, well, I'm going to see if I can hack it open.
Okay. Gonna slice in.
Yeah.
What's your roll for that?
3 green.
Just 3 straight green. And as a slicer, he's done some work on it, so it'll be 3 purple. It'll be a hard check. It won't be average. He's not your average Joe as far as computerized locks are gonna go. So you do have 3 destiny points.
Yes, I do. I still have 3 destiny points.
All right. Roger that. Rolling it. 2 successes and a threat. So the door slides open. You're able to see inside. There's some computer equipment, like on these like wire shelving, kind of like, what are they called? Are they gorilla racks? The real simple, like 4 posts, and you slide the shelving on top, just like that. And there's just a bunch of stuff and wires everywhere, and just different gadgets and technology kind of stuff strewn around. I mean, it looks pretty. You could assume that it's organized chaos, but to you at least, it looks like it's just a mess.
Oh man, what a slob! I don't know how he keeps track of anything in here. I'm gonna search the room, see if I can find any hidden compartments. If it's sensitive data, chances are it's just not going to be lying on a gorilla rack. So I'm gonna see if there's, pull open the painting, see if there's a safe behind it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any paintings in there per se.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm searching for hidden locked storage.
Okay.
Where one might keep sensitive data.
What's your perception?
It is 1 yellow, 1 green.
Fancy. We're gonna have just an average difficulty to look around, but I'm gonna put in a setback for just the level of mess that there is. I mean, just trying to, maneuver around, let alone see just in this piles and racks of stuff what's going on. Destiny point. All right.
No.
Good with the
No
roll?
destiny point. I'll let you know.
All right. Man, you were on a roll. So you're looking around. You find a few credits that are just kind of sitting out. You find a data pad that seems to be working. Might be worth a few credits. Um, you don't find necessarily anything of note, um, but you do have an advantage. If
I
there's
would like
something
to,
specific you might
as I'm
want to find
searching.
that's not.
What's that?
I said if there's, you could use it on like if there's something specific that you want to add to the stuff that loot that you found, as long as it's not, bar of gold, we're probably going to be alright.
I'm leaving the loot alone. I'm no thief. I want the advantage to be where I'm actually, even though I'm doing this kind of quick, I'm taking my time, and so I'm not like disturbing stuff, or I'm kind of, as I'm searching, stuff is pretty much staying where it's at. So it doesn't look like the place has been tossed.
It's a good way to go. That's how I do my bunk searches at work. Alright. So yeah, you're able to just like move stuff around, but like the way that you hold it is so when you put it back, it gets put back just like it was. By the time that you're done looking, you look around and it looks exactly the same. Of course, it's a bit of a mess, so it might have looked exactly the same to you anyway, but with the advantage, you left it pretty in check.
No secret compartments.
No, I mean there's his obvious computer terminal that he works at, like a bunch of screens and keyboard and everything. And
All right, well, I look around and pull out my communicator. 4, I can't seem to find the disc in here. He might keep it on him.
that seems to make sense to me. Vital information. He might also be trying to meet with somebody to drop it off.
I didn't even think about that. Head
Yeah,
down
well,
there
you didn't
quickly
ask, sir.
and see if you can catch up to him.
Right away. So 4K
And-
starts trotting off towards the
Yeah.
towards the dive bar.
And I know what bar that he normally goes to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of
All
your
right, so
initial investigation that you were doing.
As he's running towards there, I'm just going to make my way back downstairs and kind of across the street again to keep an eye on the door until K4 confirms that I'm just going to kind of wait outside.
Alright. So we'll kind of screen wipe over to 4K as he's running down the streets. I mean, not like sprinting or anything. But he's on the lookout. Take a look. Let's see. I've got so many windows open. I had to just print off my character sheet. There's
That's what I tried to do, but my
way too
printer's
much
not working.
going on. Yeah, technology's great. Printers always have issues. I don't know why. Alright, so as he's running, he's going to be kind of on the lookout. So he'll be watching with his perception, which is actually pretty good for a starting out character. He knows his target, so it'd be an average difficulty. A setback, because he's in a bit of a hurry. He's trotting along and looking. Ooh.
Hey, look, there he is.
Alright. So it does cancel out. No, because the triumph is canceled out by the failure.
Oh,
That's why it doesn't
you're
have a
right.
success on there. But I do get to activate a triumph. Regardless, it just can't be. It can't make it a successful check by itself. So as he's running, he doesn't catch him in time. As he's running up there, he does notice the Chatterfan walk into the bar, and then he notices that there's like a few different swoop bikes and speeders lined up, indicating that it's pretty busy in there. So there's a good chance that he's going to maybe be meeting somebody or something like that. And he comes that back to you. So I do believe that his contact may be in the bar right now.
Do you have eyes on the target?
I do not. I'm waiting outside. Would you like me to enter?
Wait outside, and then I go running.
All right. So you're like the T-1000. Okay. So as you sprint down there,
Get to the bar! Oh, sorry.
you sprint down and on your way. I mean, it takes you a extra couple minutes because you were waiting to see what happened before. So as you come back, are you guys gonna try to sneak in or anything like that, or are you just
Well,
full on sprint?
I'm gonna
down?
walk in like I belong. I mean, I guess like he looks like what you would expect from a typical like Western gunslinger. He's got a long coat on. He actually has a hat, kind of like what his picture shows. He has like the Cad Bane style hat on. So he totally looks like a gunslinger. So he would just kind of walk into the dive bar like he.
And you're open carrying, right? You don't have a concealed weapon or anything like that.
Oh, actually, I'm open carrying 2 weapons. So yes.
Oh. All right.
Because I did not. I forgot to buy concealed holsters, which I should probably do.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Now, can you conceal things despite not having a concealed holster? Like, just like, you know, if you zipped up your coat or buttoned it up or whatever.
I suppose you could. I think the concealed holster actually gives you a bonus.
Yeah, but a bonus,
when
but
you're-
not
when you're
like
trying-
you don't have access to concealing it without it.
Right. Well, no. I think you can seal whatever you want. It's just when people like go to search you, the concealed holster gives you a bonus. Is
Okay.
what it does. But I'd have to double check on that.
All right. So are you going in there
Well,
showing?
you're the GM. I
Well,
I
that
would say that
depends on how
he
you're
would
gonna go.
Not be. If he has the option.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're on your hips, right? So if you close up your jacket, because it's like is it a long duster kind of jacket, right?
It is.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to walk in covering with the jacket, we could make a stealth roll for that.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's do that.
What's your
I'm not
what's your
gonna.
stealth?
There's no point in being flashy. It is a 4 green.
Ooh, that's quite a bit. I guess it's based on agility, and it sounds like
It
that's
is.
what you upgraded.
Yes, it is. Well, I'm a gunslinger, so
Okay. All right. So I mean, it seems pretty simple. You're just covering up with your coat, so it seems like an average difficulty. Well, you got 3 advantage, so there's silver lining. So you're gonna kind of probably tuck your hands into your pockets and just try to hold it closed that way.
yeah. I mean, I guess if somebody really looks at him like under close scrutiny, you'll definitely be able to tell that he has guns there. But he's just going to kind of maybe use the advantage to make it difficult if somebody's actively looking for it.
Okay, so I mean, while you're not concealed, you're not obviously walking in there just guns up and hey, what's going
Right?
on?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. All right. So you kind of slide on in, and 4K. I presume you're gonna signal to come in behind you,
Um,
or is he gonna stay
I'm
outside?
gonna have him actually kind of walk around and make notes, see if there's any like back exits and that kind of thing.
Okay.
See if he's gonna slip out. See if there's any other ways he would get out other than the front.
All right. So he's kind of doing a little perimeter walk. When you go in, there's just a variety of species all in there. Everybody's pretty haggard looking and everything from a long day's work. It's getting to be nighttime, so a lot of people come down to the bar and have a drink, maybe a bite to eat. It could be too that a lot of them don't have too many working appliances or good kitchens at home, or might not even know how to cook in general. So maybe that's why they've come down to the bar. But either way, it's pretty packed. So it's kind of hard to just spot people because I mean there's no table room anymore. It's standing only, and music's going, and it's kind of dark and dim just because you're in a lower income kind of area. So lighting is not on the forefront. So perception roll to try to find him.
Yep. 3.
3 green.
Oh no, sorry. It's 1 yellow.
1 yellow, 2 green.
1 yellow, 1 green. It's
One
based off. I forgot it was based off of cunning.
Gotcha. All right. So 2 difficulty. It's a little dark, so we'll add a setback, and it's a little cramped and crowded, so we'll add a second setback. And we're rolling it. All right. You got an advantage, but you can't just readily track him.
Right. Let's see. I would say the advantage is that there's not any other Chadrafan in the bar, so if he does show up, it'd be pretty obvious that it's him.
Okay. So you're looking around, and you're noticing there's not a lot of Silhouette Zero guys around here. So you're like, all right, well, at least when I spot him, it's a very high chance that it's him. He doesn't just come hang out at like the Chadrafan club.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I message. Is it K4 or 4K?
4K.
I message 4K.
Just remember
All right,
the
4.
maneuver.
Yeah, 4. Well, normally that's the
It's not
kind
a
of
K4.
the letters first, so
No.
I gotta remember it. But anyways, yeah, 4. I don't see him in the bar, so keep your eye out. Make sure that he hasn't left yet.
All right. So 4K's walking around the back, and he's looking up and down, taking notes of everything, and he says, "Sir, there's a fire exit for the patrons on the east side of the building, and a service exit on the back."
All right, keep eyes on those.
They're on 2 different sides of the building. I guess I could stand on the corner. So
Perfect.
he heads over that way. In the meantime, let me crank out a quick NPC roll here. Let me do a... Actually, you know what? Let me do this first. Same difficulty. And actually, we'll probably make it a little extra hard just to spot you, just because he's not actively looking for you. And
Okay.
rolling. Alright. So, you don't get spotted, which is the good part. Now, what I'm thinking is going to be kind of a useful thing, or kind of the way to go about this is probably an opposed check. His stealth versus your perception.
Okay.
All right. So, so he's gonna be at. Your perception was 1 green, 1 yellow, right?
Yes.
So that'll be a purple and a red.
I would also argue then for a setback because there aren't any other Chadrafan around. Stand down a
Seems-
little, even though he's hard to see through the crowd.
Yeah.
If I do spot a little thing moving around,
Seems like a valid thing to use that advantage on. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens if he can sneak out of here without you spotting him. Oh, and he does it. All right. So you don't readily spot him as he makes his way through the bar. No advantage, no threat. He's not necessarily going to say if he's exiting or not, but as he's skulking around, you don't notice him.
Well, I guess so I don't appear too awkward. I kind of, I guess I try to find a booth or the bar where I have a easy to the front exit.
Okay, and there's not really any sitting room or anything. It's standing only right now. It's pretty packed.
Well, I'll try to, I guess, stand where everybody else is standing, so I'm not just standing in the middle of the doorway going.
All right, so you
I'm gonna stand
deeper
where
into
I
the
can
bar.
not obviously watch the front door.
Okay. Just staking out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 4K gets on the comm. He says, "Sir, nobody has exited yet. Nobody's entered either, except for a single barback. But that is not the man we're looking for. He's a human female."
A single what?
Barback is just a guy that works at a bar, does a lot of like the lifting, cleaning, dishes, things like that. Like the.
Did you get a picture? Did you see his face?
It is a human, so I didn't take too much note of it. I can go in and get a better look if you would like. Although I don't know if they would appreciate me coming in their service exit.
Nope, just next time keep a better eye on who exits and leaves. If he has a different contact, it might be him posing as somebody else. So just keep an eye on the exit still.
Roger that, sir. Have you spoken to the bartender to see if there might be some information you could glean from him? Maybe he could point to the chatter found out to you.
I have not. That's a good idea.
That's what I'm here for, sir.
So, as I am, again, as I find my non-obvious spot to stand and watch the door, I wave over. Am I at the bar, or am I just kind of standing somewhere?
Well, the bar itself is kind of in the back corner. They kind of design it like that so you are farther from the exit, and you might be more inclined to stay once you get in there.
Right. So I'll is there wait staff kind of wandering around?
There's some waitresses walking around, some Twi'leks carrying trays.
I kind of wave one down.
She comes on over. What can I get you?
Well, two things: Corellian whiskey, and I was supposed to meet a friend of mine here, a Tradger fan. Haven't seen the little guy. Yeah, have you seen one wandering around here?
She kind of looks down and gets out a little notepad. One Corellian whiskey. We got lots of that. Best. I'll grab you the best bottle that we have. And
Thanks, son.
Palm, over here. And she starts waving, and calling the guy's name, and he looks over and sees you and sprints out the door.
Which way is he going?
He goes out the main door.
I'll be back for that whiskey, and I go taking off after him. And then as I'm running, I put the campfire. He's like, he's heading out the front.
Okay, let me get a quick roll ready real fast. Alright, so 4K starts running towards the front entrance, and you charge on out. As you come out of the bar, you see him hopping off of a speeder that he was trying to hotwire, but it didn't quite work out. His threat is that he kind of slips up, but as he's starting to run down the alleyway, not necessarily just back towards his residence, but he just starts going down the street. Alright, so we're in a foot chase. And it's late, but it's not, it's still like towards the end of dinner time-ish, so people are still out in the streets and everything like that. Still a bit of commerce going on.
Okay. I'm running the little guy down.
Alright, so he sprints through and starts ducking past people. He's a little more easier to get through on things.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this whole time This whole time I'm communicating to 4K, telling him what streets and stuff I'm turning on.
Okay.
Seeing if I can get him to try to head him off. Like if we're getting to run like on a parallel street and try to, do the classic cut off where the Chatter fan will turn the corner and he's just standing there.
All right. So how the chase mechanics works is when you want to take an action to close the distance, it's an opposed athletics check to either move forward or, if you fail, farther away, one range band.
Oh joy!
I know, it's gonna be good.
I knew I should have upped my brawn.
Is it athletic? Oh yeah, it is brawn. I would have figured it would be agility myself, but
Well, like coordination. So like to balance and all that kind of stuff is based off of agility, but just flat out athletics is brawn, which kind of makes sense to me. It's about stamina and all that good stuff.
yeah, I mean it does. And as you kind of go into like not running, like athletics has so many different things.
Like being agile and quick isn't necessarily make you a good runner and that kind of stuff. But anyways, yes, I'm gonna close the gap on the little bugger.
Okay. So let's see.
Let's see. I don't.
Actually, do we? I'm trying to think. There would be initiative for chases, right? Initiative order. Because I would assume he gets to do things, and then you get to do things. So,
Yeah,
all
I suppose. I don't see why it wouldn't.
right. So I would say that while this isn't necessarily what was planned on, it's gonna be a cool check.
All right, that's.
So I'm gonna
Cool.
roll for Palm real quick. Okay. So
One
he'll probably
yellow.
have one. So you can't possibly beat him. All right. One
You
yellow.
could get a triumph
Sure. You got nothing.
or absolutely
Got
nothing.
a blank. All right. So you'll be going at least second. Let me see what my cool is for 4K here. I think I gave it a rank. Yeah. I got stuff. All right, I don't beat Palm either, so we're gonna start at medium range, and as he kind of sprints through, he's gonna kind of run through the crowd and try to open up the gap if he can. And he's rolling 2 green and 1 yellow for his athletics. And your athletics is what?
2 green.
2 green, so 2 purple. All right. So let's see if he can peel away. And don't forget, you got your 3 destiny points at any point. All right, so he successfully navigates up a range band, and he's his little feet all kicking around real fast. He ducks through some people and stuff, and it's a little crowded, a bit of an intersection where he makes a turn, and so that'll add a setback to your next roll.
Okay, so is he at short from me now?
No, he's extending his lead
Right.
on you.
I don't know where we were.
We were starting at medium, so he's now at long.
Jesus. All right.
Hey, he tried to hijack a speeder, and I thought he was actually going to do it because he's got a pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Well. All right. I'm gonna. Let me see. I don't think I have anything to do but to just continue to try to run him down.
Okay, which is just 2 green, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so our pool is 2 green, 2 purple, and a red. And the setback from his deal.
He's that good at athletics? Holy crap.
He's an NPC character that kind of knew where he was going at the time.
Yeah.
He's not good at a lot of other things, but what the chase was designed for and everything, what the scene was set up for, he's good at that. All right. Hey, he could blank out, or you could roll a despair, one or the other. All right. So failure and a threat. So you kind of just trip up as you're chasing through. You try to push past the people that he just kind of weaseled his way through.
Okay, hold on.
Sure.
Pause.
Taking a quick break, everybody. Husband things, I'm sure.